Modern mindfulness, as it's often taught in the West, follows a model some scholars call bare attention, noticing sensation exactly as it is, stripped of concept, stripped of analysis. In this model, the mind is often likened to a clear mirror, reflecting reality without distortion, or to a sky free of cloud. But in the literary universe of the great 20th century French writer Marcel Proust, presence is anything but clear. Proust is best known for his novel In Search of Lost Time. For me, it's a master class on how to pay attention to everyday life so that each moment becomes enriched with memory, sensation, and insight. So for Proust, to be present is not to observe with detachment or equanimity, but rather the opposite, to make each moment an orchestra of inner sensations. Two models, two aesthetics. Mindfulness says, empty the moment. Proust says, layer it, let it echo. This led me to wonder, would Proust still be Proust if he had practiced mindfulness? And behind that question is a deeper one. How should I inhabit the present moment? Let's take a closer look at how Proust does inhabit the present moment, specifically through one famous episode in the novel. One afternoon, the narrator takes a bite of Madeleine cake, soaked in tea, and suddenly he feels something, a wave of strange joy. He pays close attention to the sensation and observes it. At first, it looks like he's exactly doing what a mindfulness practitioner would do, paying attention to sensations. But then, instead of treating the sensation as a distraction, like a cloud passing across the sky, he leans into it. He asks gently, why do I feel this? And then he lets the question go. Moments later, a tide of memory washes over him. He recalls an afternoon in childhood being served the same cake by his aunt. The memory arrives involuntarily, along with a vivid world of feelings and detail he thought he had lost. Here, memory is not a distraction, it is the goal. Now, why compare Buddhist mindfulness with a French novelist? Because I want to remind us of something that often gets forgotten. Mindfulness is an English word, translated from the Pali sati or the Sanskrit word smrti, both of which mean to remember. As Rupert Catherine explains, sati is an awareness of things in relation to things, and hence an awareness of their relative value. It causes the practitioner to remember that any feeling he may experience exists in relation to a whole variety, a world of feelings. In other words, when you feel something, it echoes a whole world of feelings. And to practice mindfulness, in this sense, is to remember that relation, to remember how this moment is connected to the world of other moments. So how do we get to a modern version of mindfulness that interprets sati as bare attention, one that is completely stripped of memory? The answer lies partly in colonial history. This interpretation became popular in the 20th century revival of the Theravada meditation, especially in Burma, through teachers such as Maharishi Sayadaw, Nyanaponika Thera, and Goenka. Some of their methods may have been shaped by colonial pressures. In places like Burma, Buddhist monks streamlined their teachings to compete with the Christian missionaries. But if we step back and look at the broader Buddhist tradition, we find many interpretations of sati, and bare attention is just one, and a controversial one at that. Many Buddhist thinkers argue that we can't separate consciousness from its content. Consciousness isn't a blank slate or sky. It is shaped by karma, emotion, memory, and language. If you try to strip all that away, you don't get a pure awareness. You get a complete stopping of awareness. Another critique points to what some call the disease of emptiness. That's what happens when you focus so much on the idea that everything is empty, and you end up stripping your attention of all content until it feels like you are cutting yourself off from culture, from relationships, and from the world. That kind of detachment can leave you feeling isolated, even lost. So yes, bare attention is one Buddhist reading of sati, but it's not the only one. And it's not the mainstream one. There are other models that place more emphasis on memory. Of course, I'm not saying that this is the same as Proust's idea of memory. It is not. Well, I don't think so. But no matter, my point is to remind us that memory is at the root, literally, of the word mindfulness. And Proust, as arguably one of the most important writers on the subject of memory, has a strong relevance here. Perhaps Proust was, in a way, practicing mindfulness all along, a kind of mindfulness that might be even more Buddhist than the modern version, one that defies the cult of minimalist purity that has so often come to define modern mindfulness. One that is more dynamic, relational, and polyphonic, where to be mindfulness becomes, in a sense, synonymous with to remember. Because maybe Buddha's awakening doesn't mean the transcendence of all memory, but quite the opposite. Maybe it means the remembering of everything.